Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my review on the Kat Von D Saint & Sinner eyeshadow palette that came out for holiday 2017. As always, all the usual timestamps will be below if you want to skip ahead to different parts of the video. I kind of feel like a rocker today with this makeup and this lipstick, and the girls are out to play. I didn't demo this look because I actually recreated this look from another artist. I was reading, while I was gathering all the information for my review on this, I read an article on Pop Sugar, and it was showing like different artists' looks that they made with this palette, and I really like, I don't know if I've talked about it on here before, but I really like old school neon green, like muscle cars. I call it like Slimer or Snot Green. I think it's called like Green with Envy. I think it's been in like a discontinued color for a long time, but I saw that she did this look with the green and the sparkle underneath, so I loved it, so I recreated it. Her channel name is Oh Damn Gina, and I will have it linked below. Again, so this is not my original like concoction of eyeshadow colors. She did, I think, more of like a taupey or nude lip with hers. I haven't had an occasion to wear her Everlasting lipstick in Wolf, so I do have it on right now. I just liked the kind of blue-gray with the green. And I know undoubtedly some of you will say, I hate gray lipstick. Well, then you should never wear gray lipstick, but I will as I please. Thank you. I love it when I do something different and you'll get like comments saying, not your best look. It's like, well, send me a picture of what your makeup looks like today, Pam, and then we can talk. Thank you. So before we get into my review, I'm going to read off the Kat Von D site the description of this palette, just so it helps kind of set the tone for what it's all about. So the site says, honor the two sides in all of us with the ultimate collection of eyeshadows inspired by the kaleidoscope stained glass windows of old world Gothic cathedrals. Kat Von D's holiday collection celebrates the return of her beloved best-selling Saint & Sinner fragrance collection, which those actually smell good. I really like them. Open the palette's double doors to unveil 24 pigment-packed shades divided into two sides that mirror Kat's own duality. Embrace your softer side with 12 saintly shades, dreamy, wearable, and effortlessly romantic. Unleash your inner sinner with 12 bold color pops, empowering, unexpected, and insanely pigmented. Experience divine dimension with 3 fearless finishes, electrifying metallics, velvety mattes, shimmering pearls, plus 2 special effect glimmer shades. Rightfully placed at the peak of the palette, these transformative super glimmer shades amp up any eye look with prismatic micro pearls that catch the light with every movement. Each cushiony shade is blendable and buildable in Kat Von D's signature high-performance long-wear eyeshadow formula for next-level eye looks that deliver major impact. Whether you're feeling saintly, sultry, or a little of both, you're sure to find endless inspiration within the show-stopping palette of epic proportion. So you can see on the package here, this side says Sinner and this side says Saint. And then when you open it up, you have the colors on both sides. Kat Von D is a Kendo-owned brand, so the only place to find this is directly on the Kat Von D website, which this is sold out currently there, and on Sephora. This has already been out online and in stores for quite some time. This palette is limited edition. It's just out for holiday. The cost for this palette is $62. This is the outer packaging. It's in, I don't have the box anymore. I don't know what the heck I did with it. I normally try to keep those things till my review is done, but I might have accidentally recycled it. So the outside packaging of this has this metallic gold filigree all around it. And it says that this was inspired from different cathedrals that she's seen overseas and that kind of old world Gothic fashion. A lot of people were kind of perplexed about the way that these colors were laid out. She did say that she laid them out to kind of look like a stained glass window. Really like the packaging on this. It's very substantial. I will say it's very beautiful, but typically something this big, I'm not a huge fan of just because of the way I like to store my makeup, and this will be different for everybody. I like to have my makeup in my drawers as much as possible, so I don't have a ton of stuff. I mean, my vanity, there already is a ton of stuff out there, but I like everything to have a drawer and a place. I actually pretty much know where everything is that I own, so it's easy to grab. So for something like this, it takes up a lot of space, and I typically wouldn't display this out on my vanity. But again, this is really well made. I mean, it's sturdy. It doesn't feel like cheap, flimsy little nothing. And then all the names are on the back of the palette. This palette is made in Canada. Each one of these eyeshadows is 1 gram for a total of 24 grams worth of product. You heard in the description of the palette that I read, they're calling a few different finishes, but basically I'm going to divide these up into just mattes and more shimmery shades. So in this, you're going to get 7 mattes and 17 shades that are either going to be like those glimmers, metallics, pearlescents, 17 shimmery shades. On the Saint side, you're going to get 3 mattes and 9 shimmers. Actually, you're going to get the 1 glimmer. So these top 2 colors are the glimmers on top. You're going to get 1 glimmer, 3 metallics, 4 pearlescent, and 1 shade that they're just saying like a color with glitter. On this center side, that's supposed to be like the more bold colors and more pops of color, you're going to get 4 mattes and 8 what I'm calling shimmers, but you're actually getting 1 glimmer, 4 metallics, and 3 of the shades like that they're just saying the shade name plus glitter. Basically like a matte shadow plus some glitter. These top 2 shades are meant, the glimmers are meant to be a top coat that goes over existing colors that adds some shift, which those are really pretty. These actually, the same formula, I believe that this is like the same formula that's in the Fenty Beauty. Those were made in Canada as well, and these kind of have that same feeling to them. The shelf life on this palette is 9 months. I don't have any order date because this was sent to me in PR, so I don't have like the order or shipping or anything like that. I apologize. This palette is vegan, and it also is cruelty-free. I mean, I guess if it's vegan, it automatically has to be cruelty-free, but yeah. Now let's get into the cost breakdown right here on this screen. As you guys can see, this palette comes in at $2.58 per gram. It's a little more expensive than her last year's holiday palette, which was the Mi Vida Loca. I believe that was last year, or was that the year prior? No, I lied. The Mi Vida Loca, I think, was 2 years ago. I think last year was Metal Matte palette. Was that holiday? God, time flies. That palette, you got a crap ton of shadows in as well, but I think this one is more expensive because of this packaging. The other one had nice packaging too. Well, I mean, that big, I feel like all of her holiday palettes are gigantic. But this one I like a lot more just because I like gold and black. The majority of my closet is black. I just like that. You do get a good value with this palette. I went through the ingredients. If you have a sensitivity to bismuth oxychloride, this will be a skip for you. I know many people do, or your eyes will get really irritated. This does contain that ingredient. Also ferric ferrocyanide. If you have a sensitivity to that, you will want to stay away from this palette. Otherwise, nothing in here causes me any concern for putting it on myself. Even those 2 ingredients don't bother me. But again, if you do have sensitivity to those are 2 known ones. This formula is in keeping with the rest of her like typical palettes, like the metallics. It's not like the glimmer palette. That one was chunkier, almost came off in like sheets, really big chunks of glitter, and it did require certain brushes and kind of a little more finesse. This one doesn't have that. This is again in keeping with her typical standard matte formula in her normal palettes, and the mattes with like the glitters in there and these shimmers. This isn't like the metal crush shadows, but they're still very nice. How these apply. Again, these top 2, I'm gonna bend this back if I can so it's not in my way. These top 2 are top coats like they said, and that is the same kind of formula as like the Fenty Galaxy palette. These shimmers go on very nice. This black isn't the blackest I've ever used. It is easier to blend though, but you do have to build this up to get it completely opaque. This ashes color I really like. It's super cool. It's a light gray that has green, like neon green glitter in there, which actually it looks super pretty. That's called Ashes. The other metallics perform really well. Devil performs really well. This Exodus, which again is standard on most of those kind of neon colors. There's a decent amount of white in here, and then it's some glitter. I do have it underneath my eyes. I did have to put on the makeup artist that I watched that did this look, she used NYX Milk Stick underneath there. I actually used a neon green, like a chartreuse eyeliner from MAC, and then I laid this over the top. So this one you do have to build up. Again, that is common with neon colors. And the rest I find to be really good. Some of these shimmers are just stunning. They don't necessarily look maybe like the most appealing in the pan, This color right here, Vestment, doesn't perform excellent with a brush. You are going to either need to use your fingers, or you're going to need to use like a glitter glue or something to kind of pack that on. But the rest I find go on pretty well. Some of these, like these standard matte shades with the glitter in them, I find if you spend a lot of time blending it, the glitter disappears. And again, that's pretty common with those matte shades that have glitter in them. As you put those up, pack them on and then kind of blend, the glitter disappears and the color can kind of fade too, and you'll have to go back on and pack those on. I find the wear on these decent. Just like with all shimmers that I wear, I always put a glitter glue down on top, like below, and then pack the shadow on top. I can find, again, these mattes with the glitter in them might not have the longest wear if they're up in my crease. They almost seem to kind of, because again, if you spend a decent amount of time blending it, it's almost like some of them can like blend away. I did put this eye makeup look on, I would say probably about 3 hours ago, and this is what it looks like now. I haven't retouched my eyes up at all. I just actually got held up and I was talking with Keegan and started watching TV, so now I'm filming it. As always, Ripley was kind enough to swatch for me on her deeper skin. I will have her foundation shade listed below for reference, as well as a link to her Instagram. You guys should go follow her. Before we get into the swatches, I did accidentally skip over this Ministry shade right here, so I apologize for that. I missed it. All right, guys, let's get into some swatches. I will be swatching in my typical fashion. I will be laying down a base of Urban Decay's Primer Potion. I will be swatching the mattes with my MAC 239 brush, and I will be swatching the shimmers with my MAC 242 brush. In between swatches, I will clean my brush off in my color switch so my brush will not be damp. The first swatch you will see will be a finger swatch, and the one right next to it will be a brush swatch, just so you can see the difference in performance. So in closing, would I purchase this if it wasn't sent to me? In all honesty, I had no intentions of purchasing this. Just because when I look at the color layout, it doesn't speak to me. It felt very random, and I've seen people Photoshop these colors in order from like lightest to darkest, and it makes so much more sense to me because, again, keep in mind, I'm not an artist. And I have seen people depot these to put them in their own magnetized palette, and then they put them in the order that they like, and that makes more sense. Again, I'm just not an artist, so when I look at a palette, sometimes I look for very obvious pairings, and I see some here, like some color theory on this side, and some more like safe tones here, but it's still, it doesn't feel like when I open this, I feel stumped. I don't necessarily want to wear like very like soft or romantic looks, and I necessarily don't always want to play with like super intense color. So finding stuff that's kind of in the middle, I did find a little challenging for myself. Now that I do have it, I do like the way that the majority of the shadows perform. Again, there are a couple duds, but in general, the shadows are very nice, and the cost per gram is very reasonable. So if you were looking for a holiday palette that you could play like safe or play with some color, I would say that this one, you're getting a good bang for your buck. If you look at this layout and it doesn't really inspire you, I would just say to look up some makeup artists. I mean, that's what I did when I was reading the information and some looks that people did to give me some inspiration. And I mean, this one I just pretty much straight up copied. Yep, pretty much. Yeah, product for product. I have a different eyeliner on. I think for me as well, the packaging being big like this, while it is gorgeous, I typically don't display palettes on the top of my vanity. They go in my drawer. So because of this size, it's going to probably go in a drawer that I don't access as often, so I don't have to like pick all of these products up. And because of that, it's probably not going to be something that I reach for very often. And again, that's just me. I know so many of you guys have told me how much you love this palette. So I hope you guys found this review helpful. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please leave them in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.